Welcome to Roll for Imagination, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast where a group of friends, separated by distance, come together to adventure in the wonderful world of D&D. My name's Joe, and I am taking over the DM role for the time being. We have joining us today Jamie, Beth, and our amazing guests from our fellow podcast, the BBEG podcast. We have the wonderful Em, and we have the amazing Tyler, and hopefully, if everything goes well, we may have another guest joining us that listeners may recognise.
Someone you already know.
Ooh, spoilers. Shall we begin, people?
Yes.
Yes.
What if I
yes.
said no?
Guys, come on now.
Sorry, I'm so excited for this. Let's go.
Welcome to the first episode of the Myths of Favalonia. In the beginning, there was chaos, unfettered and unending, even before our concept of time and existence. From that chaos sprung the gods, bringing form and order to an otherwise amorphous expanse of nothingness. They created the world we know, the creatures that roam its surface, the concepts that govern our existence, and the sentient life that proliferates upon it. They took joy in watching their creations rise and fall, thriving on their prayers and devotion. As time marches on, kingdoms and powers rise and fall like the sun. Many civilizations have been lost to time, as they are forgotten, with only ruins to show for their might. One such power is the country of Favalonia, where our story will take place, more specifically in the port city of Ambercliff. As you walk through the bustling streets, the salty scent of the sea fills your nostrils, the cries of the marketplace ring in your ears. For now, you know where your goal is. You have an appointment after all. Rounding the corner at the end of the cobblestone street, you are greeted with the sight of your destination. Ahead of you stands a large building, built with brick and mortar. Above the large double doors hangs an insignia, a beautiful maiden with her hands held out, poised as if mid-aria. Spreading out behind her back are a set of feathered wings, framing her like a divine light. You take in a deep breath, you calm your nerves, and you pull open the large door, taking your first steps into this new adventure. Tyler, would you like to introduce us to your character?
Yeah. He is a human. He's around about 5'10", which is a perfectly good height, and I will not hear otherwise. Quite slender, with like messy, long, brownish hair. He's dressed in very kind of fancy clothes. He's got a mustard and gold waistcoat, which sits above a slightly unbuttoned shirt with kind of suit trousers and long riding boots resting up to the calf. He has two swords stuck behind him, sat just over the top of this long kind of suit jacket he has that goes down below his knees.
Wonderful. As you enter this building, you see a woman standing at the bar. She looks up from cleaning the mugs that she's holding and waves very emphatically at you. And she greets you with a, "Well, howdy, y'all. How y'all doing?"
I walk over to the bar. I kind of lean on and go, "Hello. What kind of wines do you happen to stock?"
Oh, well, a good day and good morning to you too, sir. Well, I mean, it is a bit early in the day for a wine, but I can give you a good fruit juice. Does that count? Our liquor license doesn't start just yet.
Will it taste like wine?
If you close your eyes.
Yeah, that'll suffice. Yeah, of course. One of those.
Dan,
Actually, could I get one and just like, do you do shot glasses or like really small tankards?
I can give you a gnome glass. Does that count?
A gnome glass would be perfect. Do you happen to have any milk or water or any kind?
Sure do, doll. Do you want goat, cow, horse?
I think we'll just stick with cow. I've never heard of horse, so we'll go with cow.
Wonderful, sir. Give me just a second. And she turns around and she pours out what you can assume is just like a fruit-based, like a cranberry. She's gone for a choice that might look a bit like wine. So she's gone with a cranberry juice for you. And she brings out this little shot glass with milk. And she goes, "Here's your non-alcoholic wine and your bovine beverage, sir. Nice to meet you. My name's Flo."
Pleasure to meet you, Flo. How much is this going to set me back?
Oh, don't worry, your first drink's on the house.
Oh,
now,
that's
tell me,
very
are
nice.
you here for your appointment today?
Yes, I am indeed.
See, you adventurers are very, very excited about starting here. I totally get it. So you're a little bit early, like the other two over there. You're more than welcome to go join them for a little bit while we wait for our other appointment meeting people. You can see she's trying to be professional, but she's just full of excitement and she just wants to be friends with everyone.
Maybe I'll do a little lap of the building first, Flo, but thank you very much. I will endeavour to be sociable where I can.
Well, wonderful to hear that, sir. Didn't catch your name.
Oh, apologies. It's Doran.
Nice to meet you, Doran.
Pleasure. Yeah, he's going to kind of wander off. If there's like anywhere he can like hover near these people that he's been directed to, that's kind of what he's going to do. Just kind of take a bit of a more kind of reluctant approach to these people.
So as you turn around, you see this is a rather open bar kind of setting. Like you've effectively entered this building, this guild, and you've been met by the receptionist / tavern barmaid. And as you turn around, you see a whole cluster of tables and chairs near a big fireplace. At it, you can see 2 individuals. You can see one with long blue hair, sat drinking what looks like a glass of whiskey and snacking on some bar nuts. And another person you can see over in another corner who looks to be a young Asamal woman.
Okay. Is there any tables like nearby that you can maybe sit up, just to keep a bit of distance?
Yeah, you can take another seat at one of the other tables. Are you not gonna busy the other 2?
Not just yet.
No? Okay, cool. So, as you take a seat, Leor, you look up and you notice this new member of the bar. Like, you see this young, well-dressed human take a seat, and with his 2 glasses, one of you assume is also not alcoholic, like yours isn't. Yours looks like whiskey, but it's actually apple juice, and with a small gnome-sized glass of milk. And Beth, your character Ebony, she looks up and from her corner of the room, and she also sees this new member of the bar. She sees him sit down, take a little sip of his query wine. And what does he do with his milk?
He is going to... Is it like a bench, or is it like individual seats he sat
Individual
on?
seats.
Okay. He's going to pull out one of the seats and put it on the seat, like on the sitting part of the seat, and just like casually, like subtly open the bottom part of his jacket and...
Very subtly under the table.
Yeah, to kind of... If someone's watching, they'll probably be able to see what he's doing, but he's trying to keep it stealthily as possible.
Okay, I like it. So as you 3 individually sit there, occasionally giving each other the side-eye glance to kind of size each other up, all assuming that you're here for your appointments, the door opens again, and in walks a human, bit scruffy looking, bit middle-aged. Jamie, would you like to introduce your character?
Middle-aged. So, my character is actually 24, so if that's middle-aged, then
I mean,
okay.
It's a poke at when you last played this character with me.
I know. My character, Ashlan, he's a human male with sort of blonde, scruffy hair to his shoulders, half up in a ponytail / bun, curls around his face. He's got like typical farmer's tan, so he's out in the sun quite a lot. He's got like red across the bridge of his nose, a scar down his left eye, and he wears sort of simple peasant's clothes, like a white like blousey thing, some simple brown trousers. He's got like, if anyone's played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Edward Kenway sort of vibes.
Love it.
And that's my guy.
So as you enter the door, again, the 3 of you look up and you notice another new patron to the bar. As Ashlan, as you enter, again, he is greeted by Flo with a very emphatic wave and an usher over as she's finishing off her own drink of query cranberry juice. Well, howdy. How y'all doing?
Hello. I'm doing good.
You doing good? You doing fine? Oh, sir, I am happier than a pig in shit. I tell you that. Can I get you anything?
Okay. I'll just take a water, please.
Just a water?
Mm.
Perfect. I mean, our liquor license hasn't come into effect just yet, so perfect choice. She turns around, brings out, do you want ice in that, doll?
As it comes is fine.
Okay, I like that about a man. Turns around and she places a tankard of room temperature water in front of you. She goes, so are you here for your appointment as well?
I am as well. There are others.
Yeah, doll, of course. You're joining an adventurers guild. You can't just be an adventurer on your own. That's how people die.
Of course.
You see those 3 over there? Those
Yes.
3 are fellow new members.
Right. Okay.
Now that y'all are here, just give me 5 minutes. I gotta go set something up. Take a seat, mingle, talk to them, because God knows they ain't talked to each other yet, because they're gonna have to in a minute. Don't you know? So go ahead, mingle a little bit, talk, chit-chat, and I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes, and we can start your introduction talks, okay? So as she finishes that with a little cheeky wink and a tap on your shoulder across the bar, she puts down the bar cloth and she scurries off. As you see her scurry off, You hear clip-clops as she runs off and ducks behind the bar. What do you do?
I'm gonna go take a seat somewhere. Just anywhere.
Yeah?
Any random seat. He's not bothered.
Okay, so whilst you're standing or sitting, all sitting in your respective places in this room, the silence is getting unbearable. You're sat there, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what this weird sounding, query clip-cloppy lady with, by the way, fluffy pink candy floss hair
Oh my god.
is
I
talking
love
about
her
with
so
everyone
much.
having an appointment. I know, I thought you'd like her. Whilst we're waiting, Ebony, could you please introduce us to your character, Beth?
I can. So, my character has long black hair that is kind of, as she sits forward, is like covering a bit. Not like she's trying to hide her face, just that she's not in the mood. She's got makeup on that maybe was once heavy, now is just kind of worn, bit, not super like clean girl aesthetic. She's just kind of like been vibing. She's wearing black worn traveling clothes with big boots and a heavy jacket. So she just looks like she is not in the mood to talk to you, and she's been on a long journey. And I want to say she's sat, and if there's anything that was around her, maybe like something from the table, she's probably sat with it like impatiently tapping her foot, waiting for something to happen.
So whilst Ebony is impatiently tapping her tankard on the table, Leor, could you introduce us to your character?
Leor, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell as he's sat down at this moment, but he's about 6'2", 6'3", sort of height. Casual, sort of masculine, athletic build, but it's not like too masculine featured. So some soft feminine edges, sort of bluish grey skin as a genasi, and grey long flowing hair that sort of ribbons out as it goes down, kind of like emulating air, starting with like lighter grey hair at the top, getting darker as it goes down. He's just sat at this table with a book and obviously his snacks and whatnot, and not that you'd see, but he'd be looking at a few cards using the book to hide some things from others, just so he can look at it himself.
Time passes. Suddenly, out of the blue, Flo, she runs out from behind the bar, and you finally see the lower part of her body revealed. Flo is a fawn. She's a satyr.
Oh, that's so cool.
Her legs are the same candy floss pink as her big fluffy hair. And actually, on closer inspection, you do see two tiny little ram horns hidden in all the curls. Oh my god, honestly, like, there is so much admin involved in signing people up to be adventurers. It is unreal. So, hi everybody. Hi, this is the part where it's like call and response, guys. Come on now. Hi everybody.
Hello, Flo.
Hello.
Well, thank you for joining us today. So, you have all come here to the Siren's Wing, a wonderful adventurers guild where you hope to make a name for yourself. Now, there are a few formal things that we have to go through to, just get you signed up, get you on the payroll, all that kind of stuff. Don't you worry about nothing. And as she says that, she brings out a big crystal and she pops it on the closest table to her, which coincidentally is the table that Doran is sat at, because he went to the closest table to the bar. This crystal is called a registration crystal. When you join an adventurers guild, we need to register you on our magical web so that we can make sure that we give you the correct badge. You get a little badge as an adventurer that helps you get in and out of places, gets you into Adventurers Guild, gets you special little perks of the job. Also proves that when you are out hunting monsters and doing tasks, you are a natural adventurer. Each adventurer's badge is synchronized with their soul. It matches their wavelength, So, the way we do this is you individually, I've already done it. You put your hand on the crystal, it reads your aura, and then out the back, one of our magical doodaddy things create your badge respective to your rank with your name and serial number on it. Happy?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Sounds good to me.
Well, Mr. Dorian, as you're right next to me, why don't you be the first one to do it? Just place your hand on the crystal.
He hesitantly reaches out and then just
Before you place your hand on the crystal, the doors slam open and in stumbles an out of breath Dragonborn.
Doran removes his hand immediately.
Brandon, would you like to introduce us to your character?
My character is a Dragonborn bard called Drakios. He's an interesting one. He looks like your basic run-of-the-mill Dragonborn. He's got a little lute as well that he likes to play. He's an interesting fellow, to say the least. He is a bit dapper. looking as well. He's not fully dapper, more of adventurer based, but he wears himself well. Yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it.
So as this dragonborn kicks open the door very dramatically, panting clearly out of breath, Flo goes, "Oh my goodness and oh my god, you scared me there for a second. Sorry, who are you?"
Oh, sorry, my name is Drakios.
Oh, are you here for an appointment as well?
Yeah, sure.
Well, that is mighty strange. We only really, as far as I know, as she's mulling this over, she pulls out from her magical pocket that's definitely a thing on Sada's legs, because who doesn't have pockets? She pulls out this clipboard, which is like a registration clipboard, and she goes down. She goes, "Ashlan, Doran, Leor, Ebony. I don't have a Drakios on my list, dear. Did you respond to the? Did you? Oh, sweetie, did you not get your? Oh, babe, you didn't get your missive, did you? It's okay. I'm just so glad that you were able to hear about the invite. We sent invites out to everybody that's starting to make a name for themselves, or anyone that seems interested. We asked people to spread the word. Word of mouth, very important thing. Obviously, whoever told you about us didn't actually feed it back to us, so we couldn't get your name on the register. But don't you worry, doll. Leave it with me. Fill out this little form here." She provides you with the clipboard and a little quill. It says, "Just fill out this form, basic information, all that kind of stuff. Everyone else has done it already, don't you worry. You fill this out, we'll have the others register, and then I'll register you, and then we'll be good to go, okay?" So as we leave Drakios filling out his information,
as
she's
this
gonna...
is happening...
Yeah, go for it.
Ebony has leaned back in her seat, fold her arms, she say, "Fantastic." Just under her breath, just, "This is great. Fantastic."
And Drakios is given a bit of a bombastic side eye.
While he's filling out his forms, Flo is going to turn back to Doran and go, "Okay, doll, sorry about the interruption. Do you want to put your hand on there?"
I am slightly unnerved, but yeah, I can do that again.
I mean, if anyone else wants to go first, they're more than welcome.
No, let's just get this over with. And he just puts his hand straight on it this time. He's not even hesitant, he just kind of wants to get going.
Okay, so as you place your hand on the crystal, the small glowing light from the core of the crystal slowly brightens and pulses, and you feel a warm tingle on your hand. As quickly as it came, it suddenly disappears. The crystal goes dull and the small light's in the center again. And Flo goes, "Wonderful. Okay, that's your aura red. Next person, please. Come on, hurry up. We've not got all day, guys. If no one volunteers, I will drag you up myself."
Flo, quickly.
Yes, dear.
Does my friend, and he kind of opens his jacket to show this small grey-scale, tiny little dragon creature inside it. Does he need to register as well, or?
Sweetie darling, she kneels. She kind of bends down and looks at you. Like, "Oh my God, isn't he the cutest biscuit I've ever did see?" Speaking of biscuits, do you want a biscuit, little one? Do you want a biscuit? And from her magical pocket, she pulls out a little biscuit.
He kind of just bats it away. And Doran just turns to him and goes, "Behave, please. Sorry, I'm still training."
It's all right. He doesn't know strangers. It's probably a good idea to be a bit wary of food from strangers. I get it. You're teaching him his proper survival techniques. No, he don't need to be registered with us. As long as he's registered with you, i.e., I'm assuming he's your familiar.
I think that's our relationship. I'm not entirely... Yes.
Okay then. Well, if he's your familiar, he'll have your aura print inside of him already. So, touching the crystal, you'll know that you're connected. It's fine. He's not the adventurer anyway. He's your assistant.
Thank you. And he gets up from the table, takes his 2 glasses. The little gnome glass of milk is empty, and he walks back to the far end of the bar and just places it there and just kind of moves out of the way for other people to put their hands on the crystal.
Now, Leor, I think I saw your hand start to rise there.
Sure. Let's just get this going. Okay. So it just picks himself up from the table. And it's kind of the first time you see his full height, so you really take in how tall he is and the sort of gold and blue armor plates that he's wearing as he just walks up and just, no hesitation, just slaps his hand on that crystal.
Okay, so as Leor puts his hand on the crystal, interestingly, where Doran's glow was mainly a hue of blue, Leor's hue is a mixture of a blue kind of purple mauve that intertwines in itself and mingles with itself as it grows throughout the crystal. Again, Leor, you feel...
the colourblind one colours.
So as Leor touches it, this mingled blue and purple pink kind of aura spreads throughout the crystal until it touches the surface where Leor's hand is. Leor feels a warm tingle, and then suddenly it retracts back to itself into a little core light in the center, and it's all done. Wow, what a reaction! That was such a beautiful light show, Leor.
Does that mean anything?
Oh, not necessarily, no. It's just sometimes it mingles with people's auras and it shows us the color of their aura sometimes. And yours was beautiful, my dear. She gives you a little wink.
He just goes a bit shy in the moment, just like, thank you, and just sort of like takes himself back to his little corner with his book.
You're more than welcome, my love. Okay, who is next? We've got Ashlan or we've got Ebony.
Okay, yeah, I can go.
Okay, then Ebony, step right up and put your hand on the crystal.
She raises up her hand above the crystal. You can tell she's hesitant, and before she puts her hand on it, she's going to turn to address Flo again. What do the colours mean?
They don't necessarily mean much. It's just the color of your aura, my love. Like Doran's is a nice, strong, royal blue. Leor's was a mixture of purples, pinks, and blues. Everyone's aura is slightly different. It's just reacting to your aura color. Why?
This is a requirement to join?
Unfortunately so. We need your aura print so that we can make your adventurer's badge. And if we can't make your adventurer's badge, then we can't send you on adventures.
Okay. I just place my hand on the crystal.
Okay, so as Ebony puts her hand on the crystal, the white light in the center slowly spreads. It doesn't really change much, except on the outskirts of the glow you can see kind of almost sparkles of gold and little starbursts on the inside. And then every now and then you see what looks like a little spark travel through the aura. And then as that comes to the surface of Ebony's hand, she too feels the warm tingle, and then again, sudden retraction. End of registration. See, that wasn't so scary now, was it? And yours was just as beautiful, my dear.
Okay. I'm gonna sit back down.
Okay, doll. Ashlan, are you ready?
Yep, and I'll step up and I'll put my hand straight on the crystal.
Okay, so as Ashlan puts his hands on the crystal, the white light grows and it becomes a warm orange, kind of like it's very reminiscent of like a nice campfire. It's yellow kind of in the middle, with as it goes out it gets a bit red and then a bit orange. It looks really warm and inviting. It's like a soothing kind of comfort colour. Again, very much the same as everyone else. As the colour reaches the outside of the crystal and tingles on Ashlan's hand, it retracts and the registration is done. Now, Drakios, have you finished your paperwork?
I have. I don't know why I've done this, but I have.
Oh, sweetie, you know that is a medical condition if you copy people's accents, right? It's actually a psychological thing.
Sorry.
It's okay, but you might want to get your head checked. It's okay, doll. We take all here as long as you're not evil. We don't care. So come on up here and place your hand
He just
on the crystal.
puts his hand straight on it.
And as he places his hand on the crystal, I believe you're a gold dragon, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, your light goes from a white to like a deep yellow gold with flecks of purple and little stars of purple floating through it. As the gold increases and spreads, touches the side of the crystal, you feel the warmth in your hand and boom, done, finished. Wonderful. That was... See, I told you guys, it was nothing to worry about. Now, give me a couple of minutes, okay? Just mingle among yourselves, because you are now a team. Because, we can't be sending adventurers out on their own, because that's unfortunately how people die, and we learn from our mistakes, as Mama always used to say. So now we tend to try and form teams of generally 4, maybe 5 in this case, adventurers to just go out, do their first couple of missions, get themselves battle ready, and then go from there. Okay, so give me 5 minutes, mingle amongst yourselves, I'll go get your badges, okay? And she flip-flops off and goes through a different door at the other end of the bar with the crystal in tow. And I hope,
Doran kind of just, he's like, well, at least there wasn't any, team building exercises, I suppose. Unless anyone wants to share any weird facts about themselves.
Flo sticks her head out and goes, "Don't you worry, the trust falls come later, doll." He goes back in.
A team.
I don't trust her. I feel like she's listening to every word we say. Seems lovely, but a bit unhinged.
Well, rule 101 is trust nobody until they give you reason to.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
She doesn't say anything. She does not react to that at all and looks away from you and is actively making a point of not looking in your direction.
I guess we're going to have to get familiar with each other to some degree to make this thing work.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
Leor,
Leor.
Ashlan, Ebony, and Drakios.
Aye.
Lovely. My name is Doran, and he opens his coat pocket, and this little dragon just kind of jumps up and crawls up this chest and like lands on his shoulder. This is Lock, I believe. He looks to it, and it kind of does this subtle nod. He goes, Lock. Now we're introduced, I suppose.
where
Hello.
did you get it?
Good question. If I knew, I would tell you. He's just kind of been following me around for the past couple of months.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what else I could ask you about that. Anybody else got any weird pets they need to share with the group before we go out and face dangers together?
No pets.
Nothing.
No? Anything else that we should know? You know, if we're going to be a team, like, I don't know.
No.
Anyone a
don't think
criminal? Anyone,
No.
I don't know, evil?
Any backstabbers?
Again, looks away, is not looking, does not want to know what this man has to say.
All right, so as you've had your little stunted introductions, Flo clops out again, and with her, she is carrying 5 badges in one hand, and she's got her clipboard in the other. And she goes, so congratulations, guys. You are all registered with the Siren's Wing Adventurers Guild. And she hands out each of you a little badge. So it's kind of like a driver's license kind of thing. On the front it's all like embossed metal, so an embossed outline of kind of your mugshot for each of you, and next to it are just some basic details of your name, your next of kin, what guild you're registered at, that kind of stuff. And on the back is the same sign that you saw, the insignia that you saw above the door as you came in. Looking at it, it's kind of like a dull metal, like a silvery kind of dull metal. Now, obviously, you're all new joiners with us, so we can't exactly give you any fancy ranking right now. You're all 10 rank at the moment. TIN 10. That's the lowest rank you can be in the guild. It's for new starters. It's for those fresh-faced newball young'uns who come through, want to make a name for themselves. That's where you start off with. Everyone starts there. Even I did, and that was many moons ago. Okay? So, now that you've all got your badges, I have a little thing that I have to read. I've put a little spice into it myself, but, you know, she pulls out her clipboard and she flicks through and she goes, okay, here it is. Now, as y'all know, there are guilds that exist all over this fine country of Favalonia. Now, it's important to remember a few things about guilds. 1, they do not take part in political or religious machinations unless the lives of people are at significant risk. Number 2, a good guild accepts jobs from the people as much as they do from official busybodies. Number 3, each guild is headed by the guild master. They're the ones having to herd all you cats out here. That's you adventurers. Try not to make their job too stressful. Our guild master, he's not got much hair left on his head. So, you know, be good. Any questions so far?
Sounds thrilling.
Yeah,
It
none for
sure
me.
does. It sure does. So now that you wonderful strangers have signed up to the Siren's Wing, we need to make sure that we support our members. So as I said, we need to send you out in a party. So here's your party. You can come up with your name. That's all on you guys. Obviously, you guys, as I said, starting first rank. Basic jobs. So we've had an application today from one of our local vendors. We have had a request from Heather, who runs the local herbalist shop. She has asked that we send a group out to go and look into a friend of hers who hasn't arrived. Yes, she didn't arrive yesterday for like a scheduled meeting. I don't know the details. You'll have to go and speak to Heather herself. It might be a missing person. It might be that someone just didn't update their calendar properly. Either way, a request is a request, and we need to make sure that we listen to our people as well as the patrons. Could you please go over to Holistically Herbal and speak to Heather for more information on the quest? And remember, guys, the better you do, the more Kleos you'll accrue.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
Directions to Holistically Herbal.
Yeah, sorry, of course you're not from here. And she gives you instructions, because I'm not explaining where to find Holistic Herbal in this city that I've hardly created. Fuck off.
So
So,
want detailed.
get
Yeah.
stuffed.
Give me a street name.
It could be.
I'm not a man.
Did you say left?
Swear down, guys, honestly.
I think it was
Leave me
right.
be. You're all bastards. So, Flo explains to you where to find Heather at the Holistically Herbal shop, and you all set out. So you make your way. Is there anything you want to discuss whilst en route?
I turn to Drakios and go, I've got a feeling you're probably going to come up with the name. Am I right?
I have an idea. I'm stewing with it at the moment.
Okay.
You're giving Brandon the reins to name us.
Oh, God. We'll see what Ebony has to say about that.
Travelling through the city, some of you feel a bit overwhelmed with the sheer number of people around you. Others in the group are no strangers to the constant buzz that is city life. Either way, all of you feel the first bubbles of anticipation for your first job of adventurers, be they nervous bubbles, angry bubbles, or happy bubbles. Following the directions that Flo gave you, you find yourself outside of a small building that has practically overgrown with greenery. You know, like those old kind of Victorian houses that are just, you can't see the house through the ivory. It's that kind of situation. Hanging baskets filled with twisting vines create a curtain across the entry to the shop. Above the entrance hangs a weathered-worn but well-loved sign depicting a mortar and pestle and the name Holistically Herbal. As you push past the vines, your nose is filled with the earthy aromas of herbs and soil. Looking around, you notice that near every surface is covered with plot plants, explaining the sudden rise in humidity in the room. Even though you can just about see the shop counter at the back of the room, you can't see anyone behind it.
Hello?
Can I look around? Are there any doors that look like they lead out to maybe a staff area?
There is like ivy everywhere hanging, just like the front door from the walls.
If I look really hard, can I see any?
Do an investigation check.
What did you say? I'm rolling an investigation.
Investigation, yeah. Or a perception.
Okay.
Because you're do a perception because you're just kind of looking around at the moment. You're not looking.
Okay. It is a total of 13.
Okay, not bad. So 13, you're still a bit overwhelmed with the just sheer amount of verdant foliage that's surrounding you. Alright, it's like hurting your eyes. You're not used to this much colour necessarily, coming from the town that you came from. But what you do see is the slight glimmer on the countertop of a little bell hidden amongst all the ivory.
I'll walk straight over and ring it.
You hear a very dull thudded tunk because it's covered in ivy, so it's not going to resonate, is it? But as you do that, as you stomped across the room, you hear, "Oh dear, oh, hello, is anybody there?
Ebony's demeanour immediately shifts. Hello?
Hello, dear." And as you hear this, you see a turtle head peek out from behind some of the vines behind the shop counter, and you see a turtle who is a wizened-looking turtle with moss covering her shells, appears at the vine doorway with a massive, I'm saying massive, straw hat. Like, you know, the ones that have to be folded to even just be able to see. She wears an earth-stained hempen pinafore, which you can see the handles of various gardening tools sticking out from the pockets. She raises her scaly hand and pulls up the rim of her wide-brimmed hat, revealing kind and welcoming eyes and a smile as she goes, "Oh, hello, dear. I'm so sorry I didn't hear you come in. You see, the vines have twisted their magical way around my doorbell. So when you came in, it doesn't chime anymore. I really need to look into that. Anyway, how can I help you?"
Well, we're here from the guild, the Siren's Wing. We heard you have a problem.
Oh, absolutely wonderful news, my love. I'm assuming all these people behind you are your friends.
Yes. We're here to help you.
I'm so happy. I've just put the kettle on anyway. Do you all want a cup of tea?
That would be wonderful, and then we could talk about your missing friend.
I made some biscuits as well. Give me just a minute. And she kind of hurries back as quickly as a turtle can go. And you hear rustling and clattering, and she comes out with a tray with a hot, steaming, fresh pot of herbal tea, a tray, a selection of like biscuits that look home baked. So they're not like pristine cutout, but you know that love's gone into them. And a selection of mismatched china mugs for you all to use. Oh, I'm so glad that the Adventurers Guild took me seriously. I was very worried, you know, and I'm so glad that you're here.
Of course. So, what can you tell us about your missing friend?
My dear Freya. You see, Freya, I've known her since she was a wee little nipper. She was a young little Fairborg girl who lived in one of the local hamlets. Her name's Freya Marns. She and her, I go way back with her parents, you know. We used to do a lot of work together back in the day. But unfortunately, a bandit raid a few years ago killed her parents while they tried to protect her when she was so young. They were foragers at the local hamlet called Hyblis. Too far outside, maybe about a 2-hour cart ride from here. They'd left the adventurer's life themselves and had gone to live in Hyblis to forage the forest of Hyblis. There's lots of medicinal herbs and things that grow there. So what they would do is they lived there, they raised Freya on the money that they earned from foraging and then selling directly to me. You see, I run this herbalist. I'm sure you've guessed from the sign and the name of the place. I wanted to make sure it was pretty obvious. But obviously after her parents died, I offered for Freya to come and live with me because, you know, I see her like my own daughter. But she refused. She said that she wanted to continue her parents' work. So she stayed in Hyblis, foraging for herbs and things to sell me to keep me stocked. And we normally meet once every 2 weeks for a tea and a catch-up, and she delivers her supplies, but she didn't arrive yesterday, and that's very much unlike Freya.
Did you... Sorry to interject. And he kind of just like slides kind of to the side
What can
of
I
Ebony.
do for you?
Sorry, did you say that Freya was a furball?
Hey dear, I did. She's a Furborg. She's got beautiful green hair. Last time I saw her a few weeks ago, she had it in lovely dreadlocks down to her waist. She's got these big floppy ears that come down that just about brush her shoulders. She is honestly so beautiful. I love her so much. Anyway, I digress. Yes, she is a Furbolg. I'm so sorry.
Hopefully it'll be easy enough to spot a furball.
There's not many Furbolgs that live in the villages.
Is there anybody that would want to hurt Freya?
Oh,
Does she have any
not at
enemies you know
all.
of? Any competitors?
No, not at all. I buy from multiple suppliers. To be honest, Freya doesn't really bring in much of my stock. I mostly do it because I love her and I owe a debt to her parents from when they were alive. I support her in her chosen life as best as I can as her Auntie Heather. Oh, by the way, sorry, my name's Heather Hardshell. Nice to meet you all.
Likewise.
But yes, she wouldn't have any enemies. She keeps to herself like most Furbolgs do, to be fair. But after the death of her parents, she shut herself away quite a bit. The only person she really regularly speaks to is me, and that's only once every 2 weeks. And normally it's a lot of biscuits to get her to talk.
Okay. Sorry if this is overstepping a line. Her parents were
dear.
killed by bandits.
Aye dear, there was a bandit raid. There's always bandit raids here and there. It was surprising because it was quite close to the city, but unfortunately their family don't live in the city. They live on the outskirts of the city just before the forest takes control of the land. So they were the first ones struck before the alarm was raised.
And do you know for sure that it wasn't targeted? There wasn't a reason? Is there something that her family could have kept from you?
It's unlikely. As I said, I was an adventurer. Well, I didn't say, did I? Silly me, not honking my horn when I've got the opportunity. I used to be an adventurer with her parents. We did such magical things, you know. Oh, it was beautiful times. But no, we didn't really have many enemies. We mostly just did monster hunts or supply runs for people. We didn't do anything big and brash and brazen at all. They didn't have any enemies. They investigated it as part of old guild members. The guild did look into it for them, but they didn't find anything conducive to ill play. It was just that they were the first ones struck by the bandits when they raided the town.
Which guild was it that looked into?
Oh, Siren's Wing, dear.
Siren's Wing.
We were all part of the same guild that you are. In fact, I am still technically a registered member, maybe not so active as I was in my youth.
Do you happen to have the name of Freya's parents? Just so we can go and check back on file, see if there was anything that was maybe not considered prudent enough to share, but might actually help us understand any kind of basis or bias.
Hey, of course, as a DM, of course I've thought of their names already. Yeah, wee whippersnapper, you. Their names. So Freya's mother was named Marie, and her father. You guys are gonna have to write this down because I'm ad-libbing so much right now. And her father was named Clyde.
Clyde.
Very, 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 very simple names. Not very exciting, but they were fun. They were fun people to hang around with. Yes, I'm sure you can go and. Who is it that runs the reception desk at the moment? Is it Flo still?
It is Flo still, yes.
Oh, such a wonderful satyr, that girl. Oh, I just pinch her cheeks, but every time I do that, she goes into a bit of a rage. You can go and check with Flo. You can double check to make sure that my registration was correct, and you can go and see, but I can promise you no, there was nothing nefarious going on. It was just a bandit raid. Anyway, I digress. Freya's gone missing. I don't believe that she would miss her appointment with me. She never has in the... Oh gosh, how long has it been? About 3 years. 4 years I think it's been since her parents died. Not once has she missed a little tea and biscuits. Okay. This is the first time without at least letting me know. Like normally she'd send like a wood dove or something to give me a message to say that something's come up, but no, nothing.
Well, from one new guild member to another.
I'm not new, dear. I'm very,
No,
very old.
I'm new. You're a guild member.
Oh, of course you're
Sorry.
new, dear. Of course.
Maybe I didn't word that very well. I'm sure we will do everything we can to get to the bottom of this for you.
Thank you so much, dear. And she reaches forward and she clasps your hand in her old hands and goes. She just pets the side of me and goes, "Thank you so much, dear. Here, as a token of my gratitude for even looking into this." She's just going to turn around and she's going to pull out a potion of healing for each of you. And she's going to go, "Here, I knocked these up earlier a few days ago. I was going to give them to Freya to study. But you might need them. I don't know. I'm just thinking back on my adventurer's life. Like, it's always best to keep yourself prepared. And I can sense one of you over there has some kind of healing abilities." And she winks and nods towards Ashlan. "I see you, sir. I see you over there. But it's always good to prepare just in case. That was always our motto. Prepare,
so
prepare, prepare."
Do you not want anything for this? I mean...
No, not at all, love. From one, as your friend said, from one adventurer to another, we've got to support each other. So if you make sure to put a potion of healing in each of your inventories.
Woo, what type?
Just a generic potion of healing.
Cool.
Honestly, sir, it's just a gift from me to you for even looking into this. I can create these relatively easily, especially with Freya's help. And I want you to stay safe. God forbid something were to happen to Freya. You might be able to use these to make her feel better.
Okay, well, thank you. That's very kind. So she lives out in High Bliss, just before the forest, is what she said?
Aye, that's correct. High Bliss Hamlet is about a 2 hours cart ride from here, or maybe about a 4 hours brisk walk if you're not an old turtle like me.
Okay. Does
along
anyone...
the main road.
Do you know where we can get a...
I don't know where you can get a cart from, love. I'm sorry. I run an apothecary, not a stable. I know it smells a bit like a horse's shit sty in here, which is all the manure that I use, but there's no horses here.
So maybe our first step is we go and track Freya's steps. Is that what we're thinking?
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
That's a good opportunity.
thank you for your time, Heather. And like I say, we'll do everything we possibly can to get Freya back to you safely.
Thank you very much, you sweet darling. And just you all you men, you look after her, all right? She's
I don't-
Oh, I will.
I don't need looking after.
Oh,
Thank you, though. It's very
a
considerate.
feisty girl. I like it.
Or just a girl.
A feisty woman.
Or just a woman.
You're not fun at playing these games, are you, pet?
No.
Right.
Oh,
shall we
geez,
leave?
she turned quicker than a tomcat in an alley, didn't she?
Anyway, shall we get started?
Okay,
Yes.
bye-bye, dears.
Bye.
And as you head out of the shop, you are greeted by a young-looking, kind of, like prepubescent, like shitty patchy beard, almost like Brandon's.
Yeah, puby beard.
What?
Sorry, babe. I had to. Like that prepubescent patchy beard, a young
Hate is
man.
being thrown tonight.
Guillermo barred with vicious mockery.
I'm just going to turn my camera off.
Yeah, so you're greeted by this young prepubescent adolescent male, and he goes, "Oh, hello. Are you guys the new adventurers that Flo told me about?"
Why?
Well, Miss Flo sent me here to take you to Hyblis in this cart. And behind him, you can see a cart that has 2 horses to pull you guys. She knows, like, she spoke to Lady Heather about, like, the contract when Heather came, because it takes her a long time to get to the guild, because, you know, she's an old turtle. She spoke to Heather and got some basic details as to where, like, Freya lived. So she knew you were going to Hyblis, and she knows that you're new to the area. So she thought it might be helpful if I took you there. Oh, I'm Patrick, by the way. Hi, nice to meet you. He very energetically kind of goes to shake your hand and then goes to wave and then just kind of puts his hand next to his side. I'm not an adventurer myself. I work at the local stables. Don't worry, the guild has covered the cost of the cart.
Okay, lovely story. Shall we get going?
Oh, yes, of course, my lady, of course. And he scurries off and jumps onto the horses and goes, when you're all ready, jump in the cart. I've tried to pad it out with a bit of hay, try to make it as comfortable as possible. Be careful of the mites.
Ebony jumps in.
So we're just trusting the first child that comes our way, is it?
He's a child, right?
I
Why
mean,
would the
I
child
am
have to
18.
lie?
I'm not a child anymore.
Okay, child. Yeah, I think we should go with him.
Leor just
I mean, it is
grudgingly
oddly
just steps
convenient.
into the cart. Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
Maybe I'll just say it under my voice to you guys so that the child can't hear. Oh, Patrick, sorry. Do you guys not trust him?
You said the first rule was not to trust anyone.
Okay, I did say that, but okay, maybe rephrase. Do you guys not think that if he tried something, we're 5 of us strong enough to overpower him?
Overpowering is not my thought of issue, more being sidetracked from the main quest at hand. We've never met him. He was not at the guild when we were there and has magically turned up.
So
That's
So
all
we
my
interrogate
feelings.
him.
Waiting for about a good 10 minutes outside. I'm not magic at all. I promise.
Do you see my point?
Do you have a badge?
I have my stable hands badge. He pulls out a little badge which has official stable hand
Of the guild?
Yeah, official stable hand to the Sirens Wing Guild.
That'll do for me.
Probationary on the back is probationary period.
Oh.
Let's not screw up this kid's probationary period.
Thank you kindly, miss. I really much appreciate that. Should we head off then?
Lead the way, Patrick.
Let's go.
I mean, the horses are leading the way, but all right, let's go. So as he cracks away the reins, that's not right. The reins, quapa, and encourages the horses forward. You leave and you follow the cobblestones out of Ambercliff through the main gates and onto the road leading out to the world of Favalonia. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you've liked what you've heard so far, please tell your friends to come and revel in our chaos. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music and YouTube under Roll for Imagination. You can find us on TikTok for Roll for Imagination and Facebook for Roll for Imagination. On Instagram, our handle is Roll Imagination, no spaces. You can also find the link to our Discord server in the bios of all of our podcast episodes.